You're watching TVC Breakfast. Let's head over now to the streets of Port Harcourt, where TVC News' Uche Okoro is standing by to bring us views of newspaper readers at this time. Good morning, Uche. Over to you.
Good morning to you and welcome to Port Harcourt. Unlike yesterday, it's a very dull morning here in Port Harcourt. It's drizzling. As you can see, the umbrella is almost obstructing my view. And then, of course, the vendor had to cover the papers with this material to ensure that they don't get soaked. But we'll try to do as much as we can before the weather gets worse. So just bear with me. All right, so I'll start with this day newspaper. 2 captains, 1 soldier in heroic deaths as guard brigade on routine patrol is ambushed in Buari. This day, 2 captains, 1 soldier in heroic deaths as guard brigades on routine patrol is ambushed in Buari. That's this day newspaper. Daily Sun newspaper. Labour grounds Nigeria threatens to stop elections. ASU strike. Labour grounds Nigeria threatens to stop elections. That's the front page headline for Daily Sun newspaper. And then the Nation newspaper. 2 officers, 6 soldiers killed in attack on presidential guards. The Nation. 2 officers, 6 soldiers killed in attack on presidential guards. That's the Nation newspaper this morning. Can I just take a look at that? All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, now this is Vanguard newspaper. Protests. Government toying with an uprising. Government toying with an uprising like End SARS. That's coming from the Nigerian Labour Congress. Protests, government toying with an uprising like End SARS. Front page headline, Guardian newspaper this morning. Last and by no means the least is Punch newspaper. ISWAP plots massive attacks on Lagos, Kaduna, others. Insecurity. Punch newspaper this morning. ISWAP plots massive attacks on Lagos, Kaduna, and others. Good morning to you, sir. Now let me talk to this sir on my left, sir. Good morning to you, sir. Do you mind just coming over this way? Hope you don't mind. All right, and I would like to just face the camera for us. Sorry, I know the weather is putting us in a very tight corner this morning. All right, I think I'll go this way. All right, good morning to you, sir. Can you just introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Chief Titus Eze.
All right, so now which of the headlines this morning which you want to talk about?
Let me just talk about the ISWAP.
Okay, you can step back. You can step back so you can have a clearer view. All right.
Plot massive attack on Lagos, Kaduna, others. It's shocking. We've been hearing this warning after warning, and what baffles me is that each time this warning comes, it comes to reality, comes to fruition. These guys are already here in every part of Nigeria, a part of major cities. And we have security. But one of the things that bothered me is that this same military that are lost out or probably overwhelmed with these recent security challenges in this country are the same people who have used in several places, outside the country to fight a war of terrorism. And they were able to overcome what is happening in Nigeria. The simple truth is that they have threatened to attack Abuja. They have even come close to say they want to kidnap the president. And each time these guys give warning, they will do a thing that suggests that they are not playing. So what is happening to us? What is happening to the security apparatus?
In your view, Mr. Titus, what do you think is the way forward? Insecurity has been on the news for quite a long time, but in your view, what do you think is the way forward? What does the government need to do to nip this in the bud?
I don't think we are talking of a way forward now, because the way forward is that the country itself, the security itself has failed, either because there is some agents who are actually heading and working against this situation. And the only way out is not to change the security apparatus, because I know that these guys have done so well elsewhere outside Nigeria. I think that the country do not, or the leadership, or the present leadership do not want election. If they want election, they won't be doing what is happening, because there's no way they cannot handle this situation.
So are you, if I understand you clearly, are you trying to say that with the current condition of things, it is not a conducive environment for elections to take place? Is that your view?
I won't say so. Yes, if you say conducive, they are planning to be unconducive. That's exactly what they're planning to achieve. But like I said, if there is no election, what are you saying? That the army should come in? Is it the same army that have failed? If there is no election, what are you talking about? Is it that the government should continue and then will finally go down wasted?
Okay, all right, Mr. Titus. I'm pretty sure that those who need to hear you have heard you, and we believe that action will be taken in no distant time. Thank you very much for talking to TVC News this morning. All right, you just heard from Mr. Titus. After I reviewed the headlines on the national dailies this morning, I'll have to let him go so he doesn't get more soaked than he already has by the rain, which is gradually getting worse. So we'll wrap this up here. Back to you, Lagos.
Thanks a lot, Uche Okoro, there, bringing us views of newspaper readers. I guess the weather kind of prevented people from speaking. But what was more catchy for me now were the headlines, of course, relating the nationwide protest of NLC, NSAS. Of course, no one can forget aftermath of NSAS protest and the forthcoming election. There does seem to be a thin line between them.
The NLC should be very careful not to stymie its move before it starts by its own self-destructive rhetoric. So you can't just start saying that it's going to be like NSAS. When you do that, you're saying that you're going to pull down the country. Right. You're giving the government an ammunition to come down on you, and with justification. And those people who are trying to say it's going to the strike is going to mar the elections. They are moving towards the territory of treason. So they should be very careful by their rhetoric not to even destroy a good thing by their own actions, to spite their own motives by their own misdirected language. They should be very careful about that.
Right, of course, the Constitution is clear as to the timing of the election.
I made the point earlier that this kind of thing can snowball. It can just explode and it gets out of hand.
And that is even one of the fears. That's one of the fears, of a substantial number of Nigerians.
Yes. But well, I'm not trying to hold brief for the newspapers, but I know that we had the NLC President Ayuba Waba on TVC exclusively on This Morning yesterday. I can't remember him mentioning that. Of course, he mentioned the whole idea of shutting down the nation if the government does not heed to their demands after the 3-day warning strike and all of that. But I think sometimes the papers, they try to also get the attention of Nigerians and the
let's also not forget the state chairman. Maybe they set them up.
Maybe the state chairman.
Maybe they set them up with a question and they came, the reporters got them into the trap. And they said what they're not supposed to say. But they had better recalibrate their language, or else they will get into a position where the government will justifiably squelch them.
Of course, no government